Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go. Hey, it's the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Back to boxing. Now, man, big news, man. My boy, Kell Brook, man, former IBF champion, former superstar fighter. The special K, the special one, Kell Brook, man. He has some interesting words to say about Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, Crawford has looked spectacular in a lot of his fights, but as of recent, he got dropped against Mean Machine, and in that fight, Kell Brook seen some holes in Terrence Crawford's game, so much so that he believes he can hurt Terrence Crawford. You know, in boxing, it's all about film study in boxing and knowing the opponent's weaknesses when they fought fighters that exposed them. And Terrence Crawford getting hit with the right hand is a really bad sign for Terrence Crawford, because that's most fighters' special punch. That's most people's Sunday punch. And Kell Brook has a sharp right hand. Ask Sean Porter, right? When Sean Porter and Kell Brook fought, that's how Kell Brook won the IBF title, and he was sharp all night with that jab shit right. That's Kell Brook's best punch. So he believes he can catch Terrence Crawford. Now, I'm getting some quotes to you guys. Now, Kell Brook says that, and I quote, he can hurt undefeated WBO world champion Terrence Crawford, right? That's what he said. He said he can hurt the guy. He says that, you know, the guy is a great fighter, top pound for pound fighter, but, you know, I can hurt this guy. Now, I'm gonna get some more quotes. He says he deserves to be top 3 pound for pound, but I know my ability and I know what I can do. As I said, I would fight Terrence Crawford in his backyard inside that square circle. That square circle is home for me. It doesn't matter where the fight is. I've got self-belief. I'm very strong. I know what I can do there. He boxed the guy Ricky Burns from England. He couldn't stop. Now, that was a really big deal. I think that was Terrence Crawford's first for title fight. Ricky Burns, he went to over there and he got a UD against the guy. And that fight, Ricky Burns had his jaw broken before, right? Before he fought Terrence Crawford. So that's a really big deal, technically. But, you know, back to Terrence Crawford and Kell Brook. Understand that this fight, Crawford was trying to fight in the UK, but now that this fight is in America, this adds more pressure to Terrence Crawford to look good. You know what they say, sometimes when you fight in front of your home crowd, you fight in front of your family, your friends, it adds more pressure to you. But when Kell Brook looks his best, he was actually looking and was cool, calm, and collected. He did it foreign, right? When he beat Sean Porter, he was sharp. He was countering Sean all night. He didn't let Sean Porter's aggressive football style get to him, and he just countered him all night. But when he fought Errol Spence Jr., he was fighting a lot more emotional in that fight. He was a lot more aggressive. He was trying to, he was just being a lot more aggressive to the point where it looked like he was coming in before he threw his punches, before he knew he was going to do before, right? He was coming in and he'll get close to Errol Spence Jr. before he throw a shot, right? He was trying to be so aggressive and trying to push the fight so much that it was a sloppy fight, in my opinion, for sure. He could have used his energy more wisely in that Errol Spence Jr. fight, and I think he could have went to decision if he would have just, you know, relaxed more in a fight. He was being too aggressive really early, right? But in this Terrence Crawford fight, he's gonna be a lot more cool, calm, and collected because it's in a foreign location. It's gonna be in the studio. There's gonna be less of a crowd, and this is gonna be Terrence Crawford versus Kell, the special one, Brook. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. I think that Kell Brook, you know, if Mean Machine can definitely hurt Terrence Crawford, that Kell Brook definitely can as well, right? That's Kell Brook's best punch, like I said, is straight right, and we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. I think this is an extremely good fight to see. Terrence Crawford is not exactly the best defensive fighter. He's easy to hit, right? Benavidez fight, he got hit a lot in that fight, and Benavidez had one leg. You know, there's just a lot of things that Kell Brook does that's a weakness to Terrence Crawford, right? Kell Brook moves extremely well. He has a leaping left hook that's extremely accurate. He has a straight right that's extremely accurate, and his countering punching is bar none one of the best in the division. Especially he's a big welterweight too, so he hits hard. I think Terrence Crawford has his hands full, and a lot of people are looking past Kell Brook. If Kell Brook boxes,
Terrence Crawford, I think that's a better chance. He has a better chance of winning this fight. If he tries to get in the trenches, I think that's a bad idea for Kell Brook. Stay on the outside and make Kell Brook come to him and counter him. I think that's Kell Brook's best shot. Anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. I thought I'd talk about it. Kell Brook, man, extreme confidence. He has extreme belief in himself. And, he has a lot of tools that are asterisks on his career that really can elevate him to possibly beat someone like a Terrence Bud Crawford, right? I don't need to talk about Terrence Crawford pedigree. Everyone knows the guy is a superstar. There's no need to hype the guy up. He's definitely the overdog in this fight by bar none. The list of world champions he's beaten, especially at 140. I mean, the elite fighters, right? One fight that people do not talk about enough is the Julius Ndongo fight. Ndongo went to Russia and knocked the guy out 1 round when no one knew who the guy was, and then he went to it was New England or maybe it was Ireland, but he beat Ricky Burns, I believe, and it was by UD. So that was, and he dropped him multiple times, right? So, Julius Ndongo is not talked about enough. One thing about his career was after he started taking those losses, he started taking fights off of 2-week notice, and that's what really destroyed his career. He started fighting too much too quick, right? So understand that Julius Ndongo, ever since he lost to Terrence Crawford, he only lost 1 more time, and that 2-week notice I was talking about earlier was the Rodriguez Prograis fight. So since then, the guy only has 2 losses, right? So Julius Ndongo is actually an extremely tough fighter, a phenomenal fighter. He just takes fights short notice. You shouldn't do that, and the guy came out of nowhere, and he unified the titles within 1 year too. It was wild stuff, man. A lot of times people will just sleep on guys because they're not talked about anymore. But yeah, man, Terrence Crawford, I can go on and on about the fighters he fought and their accomplishments, and that they barely have taken losses since the Terrence Crawford fight. But people don't want to hear that, man. We all know about Terrence Crawford and how elite he is. The problem with Terrence Crawford is, as of late, he hasn't been fighting any top elite level opposition, and Kell Brook definitely will be one of the toughest. I think he's better than Jeff Horn, obviously. I think Kell Brook has a higher pedigree than Jeff Horn, and he has a higher. If he fought Jeff Horn tomorrow, I'd pick Kell Brook, right? So yeah, man, we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out with Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geobasket Empire. Peace. Geobasket Empire.